For homework 1210, to get you ready for the math that we're going to do after the movie break, I'm going to have you write down this problem, all the work, and then look at the graph and see how it compares. So this problem, write down these words. This is a system of equations, two separate equations with two separate variables. So this is going to be 1.5, $1.50 per child, 1.5C, plus 4.0 adults will equal the cost, or how much was collected, $5,050. My other equation is C, number of children plus adults, equals 2,200 total people. So those are my two equations. I'm going to solve this by elimination. I'm going to times the bottom row by negative 1.5 to eliminate my C's. I'm going to distribute this all the way through, which gives me, when I rewrite my equations, 1.5C plus 4.0, or 4A, equals 5,050. My bottom row, negative 1.5C minus 1.5A equals negative 3,300. I'm going to add those up. My 1.5's will cancel. So when I add those up, these will eliminate. The C's will eliminate. My A's give me 2.5 from 4 minus 1.5. This gives me 5,050 minus 3,030. Gives me, on my calculator, 1,750. Divide by 2.5, and that will give me the number of adults that attended this fair in this situation. So adults equal 1,750 divided by 2.5 is 700. 700 adults. All I have to do to find children is plug 700 right here into this blue equation and solve for C. Make sure you're using the right numbers. So I start by using the wrong one there, so I'm going to fix that to put it as 2,200. 700 right there for number of adults. Take away 700 gives me 1,500 children in this situation, and that matches. 1,500 plus 700 equal 2,020. If I plug these into this equation, it equals 5,050. I'm going to rearrange these and solve these for X and Y and graph them and find that same intersecting point. Adults 700, children 1,500. So to make this into a graph, I'm just going to replace C and A with X and Y, where X will represent number of children, Y will represent number of adults. So I'm going to solve this equation in terms of adults as a function of children. So I'm going to take away 1.5x to both sides. I'm going to divide everything by 4. Cannot subtract these. Divide everything by 4. Makes that Y, or number of adults, is negative 3.75 number of children plus 1,262.5. That one's ready to graph. My other equations solve for Y. X, number of children, plus Y, number of adults, 2,200. Take away X on both sides, and that will give me Y, number of adults, is a function of negative children plus 2,200. If I graph those on Desmos, there it is right there, where I plug in my equations. Y equals a negative X plus 2,200, negative this one. It intersects right here at that same point, 700, 1,500. The way I have it set up is my X and Y. X is number of children. Y is number of adults. For my x-axis, that would be number of children. Y-axis would be number of adults. So I'm going to label my axes there. So my y-axis of adults, my x-axis children, that point where those two lines intersect, the number of x 1500, that represents children in my situation, and 700 represents adults. So again, that same answer I could have got, instead of by doing elimination, by graphing. Your homework was to just do this work right here. You do not have to do the graph. That was just for you to look at. Good luck.